Before we go any further, we've got to slow down and define one thing clearly because LSAT score inflation sounds like jargon. And if it stays vague, it's useless. And so I want to make this concrete for you. LSAT score inflation does not mean that the LSAT is getting easier or that law schools are lowering standards or that your LSAT score is fake or doesn't count. None of that is true. LSAT score inflation means this: more people are scoring high at the same time, and law schools are responding by raising their expectations. That is it. Imagine a law school that used to see only a handful of 170 plus scores, a decent number of mid 160s, and the long tail below that. In that world, a 165 might stand out. But imagine that same school today in 2026. Instead of just a few 170s, they're getting hundreds of applicants with 170 plus scores. And so now these law schools have options. So what do? Of course, they're not going to change the rules publicly. They're not going to make any dramatic announcement. They're just going to quietly raise the bar. And this is where people misunderstand medians. A median is not a target or a cutoff, and it's also not a promise. It is simply a measure of last year's admitted class. The median is the middle score of the class after admissions is complete, which means it is a result, not a benchmark or a bar to clear. Law schools don't say we admit students with a 165 median. They say we want to end up with a 165 median or, of course, preferably higher. And so they work backwards. They aim above the published median to protect it. That's how LSAT score inflation works.